your host. Well, now we got it. So this is Tom Chester, your host. I got a very dear friend on this show that I would support in a rainstorm. And today is a very special day for each and every one of us because we're remembering memory, thinking about the good things, thinking about even the things that people have. Today's Memorial Day. And we recognize all our soldiers that gave their life for a cause that we all stand and love. And that's freedom. And today we want to remember them, but we want to remember the good things about their lives and what they did. So today, I just appreciate Joseph saying that prayer because today is a special day, but today's a special day because we're here together one more time. And there's no place I'd rather be right now today, honestly, seriously. Joseph gave me a sneak peek of what the subject matter was going to be today, and I was dancing around the room thinking about it. So today we're going to talk a little bit about mindset. And Joseph, this show, thank you so much for having us here today and doing it on this day. So I'm going to turn it back over to you, my friend, and let's have some fun.
Well, thank you so much, Tom. It's great to be on the call today. And this is a special day. It's Memorial Day here in the United States and a very special holiday for all of us here. And those of you who are joining us from other parts of the world, thank you for joining us, and great to have you on our Ask Joseph Land show today. And we're going to be talking about how to develop a strong mindset. There's so much negative in the world today, and there's so much negativity going on. People talking, the news, on and on and on. I've just chosen not to participate in it. And I've chosen just to try to remain in a positive mindset and surround myself with people who feel that way. And, it's just, it's amazing how you can be blessed when your attitude is right. And it's amazing how you can overcome things when you have a strong mindset. So let's talk about mindset a little bit today. And first of all, how's everybody doing? Anybody want to offer up anything today? Terry, welcome from Canada. How you doing today? Are you muted? Okay, here we go. I'm going to ask you to unmute. I don't know how that happened. Terry, how are you doing today?
Okay. I'm doing great. Thanks, Joseph.
Good. It's great.
No, it's really great here. The sun is shining. The weather's great. I'm really grateful to be here today and to help celebrate you guys' amazing holiday, Memorial Day. And just really appreciate everything that everybody's doing.
Thank you. Tom Armour, I'm asking you to unmute. I'd like just for you to say a few words. My dear friend and business partner, Tom Armour, for so many years down in Orlando, Florida. Tom, can you say a few words to us today?
Well, I just appreciate being here. And Tom was a lot more eloquent than I was on saying, voicing support that I'm here for you and would do anything for Mr. Joseph Land. And you guys are in the right place at the right time, and a great choice to have the right mindset. And like Joe said, he just chose not to participate. What a powerful statement that is. We choose. Don't let the world dictate to you your attitude. You choose. I mean, we're on a call here with a bunch of entrepreneurs. I was just reading articles this morning on LinkedIn. It's saying that entrepreneurship is down in this country to the lowest point it's been in years right now. But we got a lot of entrepreneurs here on the phone who understand that business is what really helps make us free on this day, because that's what makes the United States different from the rest of the world. So yeah. Thanks, Joe. We appreciate you.
Thank you so much, Tom. And Tom Chester, I'm going to come back to you for a minute. Let's talk about developing a strong mindset. What mindset really means to you. Before the call, Tom has really been kind of a mentor for me in developing our show and doing all the things we've done. Tom is just an amazing human being. He owns Rise Up Marketing and Media, and he helps a lot of people like myself all over the world take what God has put on their heart and really develop a platform to bless others. And so, Tom, I would really like for you to talk to everybody today a little bit about what you and I were discussing earlier today about about mindset and what's happening in our society and our world today.
You know, Tom Arnold said it perfect, and you said it perfect. I don't have to think on those things. I can think on other things. I can think things are good. I think things are positive. You know, mindset is all that is in your mind, you know, and you have to train your mind to think right, to be right, to act right. You got to think big to be big. And also, you know, that's the beauty of the show, is because I've got so many people, you've got so many people that are on this show that have tremendous, businesses and doing great things. We think on those things. We think on the positive. I wake up in the morning, I have to wake up and I think positive. When I go to bed at night, I think positive. I tell myself to think positive. Before I go to sleep at night, I set my mind to think possibility and positive things to happen tomorrow. You know, so your mindset is something you have to stay on top of, and you have to feed continuously, you know, and I've trained my kids over and over and again. And my daughter is here. Let her in on the show. She could tell you. My daughter is here, and I told all my young people and everything, people, you're not what you think you are. You're not what other people think. Sometimes you are what you think other people think you are. Don't let other people train your mind. Don't think what they think about you. You think what is good and lovely, and you think they're thinking good about you. So many times we tell ourselves the negative and we deliver what? The negative. I mean, there's possibility mindset, there's probability mindset, and then there's impossibility mindset. You ever thought about the probability of something happening today? Oh, it's the weatherman. It's raining. The probability of rain is what? I mean, you're told to think that it's going to rain today. Now, how many times is the weatherman right? Well, you can look at the forecast and you can forecast your day, your future, your time. You can't do the past, but you can forecast your future, okay, by your mind. As a man thinketh, so is he. You have to think on these things, my friends. And Joseph is going to give us a list. And this is what I love. He's always got a list. He's always got a list of how to set a positive mindset. And I want you to listen. I want you to take notes, because all of this is true for each and every one of us today. So start thinking of the possibilities, not the probabilities and not the impossibilities, because you're going to set your mind up to what you will get and receive every day of your life. Thank you, Joseph.
Thank you, Tom. It's great to have you as a mentor for this show and all the great things you do. And I know Karen, your daughter, is listening to this, and I know she deals with a lot of mindset things. And I don't know if Karen is in a position where she can talk, but if you would like to speak, I would love to have you say a few words. This is one of the most impressive young ladies I know, and I think she's out today. But Karen, would you like to say hello to everyone?
Hi, how are you guys? Sorry, I'm at the nail salon right now. I know Tom is my friend on Facebook. I always appreciate what he has to say. Yes, my dad, I think that's in Proverbs, where it talks about, as a man thinketh, so is he. And also talks about taking every thought obedience in Christ, because not all the thoughts are good thoughts. And it's about being able to delineate the good from the bad, and then giving that the space to grow in your mind.
Yes, absolutely. Thank you. Thank you, Karen. That was great. And good luck getting your nails done. There are a lot of people out today doing things and catching up and getting things done that they normally don't get done during the week. So congratulations on being able to do that today. And you're awesome. And you have a great mentor in your father there all along. But I want to talk to you guys about, I want you to write down a few things. By the way, one of the things that I really thought about when I tore my rotator cuff and I knew I would never play any more baseball at the level I wanted to play, I thought about going in the Navy and going to the Navy SEAL training school. In fact, I was offered a position, and I decided not to do that. And show you, I went to law school instead. But anyway, I've read a lot of things about those guys and their mindset. To be a Navy SEAL, man, you got to have the right mindset. And there's a book I recommend to you guys. I'm reading it again for the second time. It's called The Way of the SEAL, The Way of the SEAL, SEAL, by Mark Devine. And he talks about developing a very strong mindset and doing things, in order and doing things regardless of how you feel in the day and just accomplishing things. The SEALs talk about, I don't know if you have children that haven't done this, but the SEALs talk about waking up in the morning and the first victory of the day is making up your bed. And it's amazing. My wife and I just went to Phoenix, and of course we stayed in a hotel, and of course they make up the bed for you and change the linens or whatever. But we just have a habit. We wake up in the morning, we make up our bed. That's the first victory of the day. And that's the first thing I can mark off my list that I've accomplished during that day. But today, we had our grandchildren visit us over the weekend. And so today I woke up and did my thing early this morning. I was up at 5:30 a.m. For my quiet time. Then I had a men's Bible study at 7:30 that I promised those guys I would be there. And then I went for a workout. Then I came to my office to prepare for this. And so it's about having a mindset of being committed to do what you say you're going to do, or having a mindset so that you don't defeat yourself. So many people in our society today defeat themselves before they get started. I had a godly friend of mine say, "Well, I don't even have a house." And I said, "Well, if I were you, I would think about how you phrase that. I think I would say, I might not have a house right now, but my father has so many mansions that I'm going to have a great house one day." It's what we say and how our mindset is. And it doesn't matter what you've been through or what you're going through. What matters is where you're going to end up. And if you got a strong mindset, you're going to end up in the right place. And so how do you develop a strong mindset? Anybody got any suggestions about how to develop a strong mindset? Tom Chesser? Tom Chesser, I got to ask you to unmute again. I don't know what's going on with this.
Okay, got it. Now I'm back. Okay.
All right.
Yeah, I don't know if something's doing that. Yeah, it's very important to train your mind. To have a strong mindset, you have to train it, because so many things out there are going to affect the way you think. Just don't let the things that affect the way you think make you think that away. So setting that is got to be a pattern. There's got to be something that you'll do to trigger that mindset. I remember not too long ago, I was going through a very difficult situation in my life, and I called Joseph Land up. And that man just turned it around for me. I was thinking one thing, he turned it into another thing and told me what was going to happen that's happening right now. That I'm going to be 10 times better off than I was right then. So surround yourself with people that have a positive mindset. Think big to be big, act big. You are big, and think about the possibilities. So it's something you have to think about all the time. And Joseph's going to give us some of those clues. And I've been waiting. He read some of them to me. And like I told you, I was dancing around the room, thinking about the possibilities of what's going to happen today about mindset. And I think this, Joseph, I'll be honest with you, I think this needs to be a 3-part series, because the mind is the most important thing. And the mind is what's under attack today. So we need to really train people and trigger people to think and how to set the mind. So I think this is not one day. I think this is 2 days, 3 days. It can be a week-long series, a month-long series, as far as I'm concerned. So the mind is the thing that you have to worry about the most. Thank you.
Oh, thank you, Tom. And, if you start looking at people who are having great success in our society today, with all the turmoil around them, number one, they're grounded. And number two, they've developed a strong mindset. In their faith and everything, and family and everything else, they've developed a really strong mindset. And so I want to tell you 6 ways that I think you can know if you've developed a strong mindset. The first one is you move on. You move on. You don't waste time feeling sorry for yourself. Now, let's talk about that a minute. You might have been in a bad relationship. You might have gotten a divorce. You might have been in something, but to know that you got a strong mindset, hey, okay, things happen. I'm going to move on. God's opening another door for me. This door might have closed, but another one's getting ready to open. And so you don't feel sorry for yourself. And sometimes the best thing that can happen to you is letting something go and not feeling sorry for yourself, but just saying, you know what? I'm gonna think about this the right way, and the right way is there's another door opening for me, and this door is going to be bigger and better than anything I've ever walked through. And while on the front end of this, I might have to go through a little trial or a little difficulty, but I'm going to keep my eyes focused on the back end of this deal, where I'm walking through the door into what I call my own promised land. My last name is Land, and so I'm always thinking, well, if I'd have had a son, what would I name him? Promised Land? What I name it? Disneyland? Something like that. But you gotta be lighthearted, and you gotta feel good about yourself. And sometimes you just gotta say, heck, throw up your hands and say, I'm moving on. And so I'll give you an example. A lot of times on a holiday, a lot of people out doing different things. And so my wife and I'll go to the gym and train. And yesterday we did that. And so, the gym wasn't exactly open at the time we wanted to be there. But we weren't defeated. We walked around and did something else and then came back to it. And so it's all about mindset. And so don't wait. The first thing is move on. Don't waste time feeling sorry for yourself. Just move on. That's the number one. Number two is be able to embrace change and welcome challenges. A lot of people, man, when you start talking about changing something in a company, it drives them crazy. And so in my company, we had 2,000 employees. I would never talk about change because I knew people had difficulty handling change because they didn't have the proper mindset. They didn't have the mindset of the way of the seal or something like that. And so I would talk about enhancements and never talk about changing. And I would say to my executive team, who I could see by their body language that they didn't like change when we had to make an enhancement. And so I would say things like, do you ever think people like General Motors ever make enhancement to their business? You ever think about people like Walmart ever making an enhancement to their business? Of course they do. And so embrace the new enhancement, embrace the new technology. So many people get stuck and technology passes them by. As they become older, they get stuck. And so embrace new things, embrace the challenges that are going to come across your life and make the best of them. So embrace change and welcome new challenges. The third one is remain happy. Don't waste energy on things that you can't control. Think about the things that you do have input in and control over, and where God has placed you in your life, and do your best in those things. But I had somebody say the other day, well, you think there's going to be a terrorist attack during Memorial Day weekend? Well, I don't know. I'm praying that there isn't, but that's kind of out of my control, and that's in God's control. And the main thing I'm going to be is I'm going to pray, and I'm going to be happy about Memorial Day. I'm going to be happy about the fact that we can celebrate the lives of men and families who sacrifice their highest and best for our country, so that we could be happy today and embrace who we are and where we are in our lives, and by our attitude be a blessing to someone else. So have you ever been around somebody who is just happy and you just want to be around that person? And have you ever been around somebody who is just totally negative and just sucks all the life out of the room, and you don't want to be around that person, do you? And so I have a friend, Jimmy Gallant, He is an African-American priest, and he's my best friend. And when he walks into a room, the room just lights up. He's happy all the time. He's got an anointing. And so you can choose to be happy, or you can waste your energy on trying to control something you can't anyway. And so just choose to be happy, and choose to be happy where you are, and choose to make a difference where you are. Now, the fourth thing is something that I think we all need to practice. Just be kind. Be kind to people. Kindness is the WD-40 of life. When you're kind to someone, when you say a kind word to someone, I'll give you an example. Jennifer and I have a little tiny dog. And so I got up early yesterday and took the little dog outside. And this person passed by me, and I had my back to him. And I made it a point to tell that person, "Hey, sir, how are you doing? I didn't mean to have my back turned to you. I was focused on this little dog, but I wanted to say good morning to you." You know what? He turned all the way around and came back and said, "Thank you." He said, "That's so nice of you." He said, "You have a great day too." See, it only takes a little bit extra, and kindness is the WD-40 of life, isn't it? It is the all that takes a squeak out of life, kindness. And so don't be afraid to speak up. Don't be afraid to be assured of yourself, and don't be afraid to just be kind to people. And too many times we let things pass us by without speaking up about it. It's like that man who turned all the way around. He did a 360 to say hello to me. And so be kind. That shows that you have a very strong mindset. When you know that you got it, and you're just going to be kind to people regardless of how they feel, man, you got a strong mindset. You got the way of the seal. The fifth thing is you don't operate in a cocoon. You don't have a shell that you hide in. You're willing to take calculated risk in your life. What does that mean? Well, maybe me making that kind gesture to that gentleman was a calculated risk for some people. But you know what? It made us both feel better. And so I'm willing to take a calculated risk in a business once I've done the due diligence. I'm willing to take a calculated risk in establishing a new friendship. I'm willing to take any calculated risk once I've thought it out. And you know what that shows? That shows you have a strong mindset. No matter where you are in your life, there are things that are going to appear in your life. Like Terry in Canada, he's got a tea business, and he takes calculated risk all the time, developing new teas, getting new product. Should I do this? Should I do that? You know, that's the risk that you take when you're developing your own business and being the best that you can be. A calculated risk and being willing to take it. The sixth thing is that shows that you have a really strong mindset is to be able to celebrate others' success. You know, you're not threatened by someone else's success. You know, I called a guy today and congratulated him on something. And you know what? It just blessed him so much because he's in the same kind of industry that I'm in. And I said, "Man, I want you to know I'm so proud of you. And I saw the article in the paper about you and a new development. And I just want to tell you how proud I am of you. And I just want to thank you for walking in your integrity and doing things the right way, because your company really reeks of integrity because of who you are." That's what I told this guy. And I said, "Forgive me for bothering you on Memorial Day." He said, "Man, you made my day." You see, because I was willing to celebrate his monumental success, and I wasn't thinking, "Oh my gosh, he's had success. Why didn't that happen to me?" Well, it wasn't my time, and it wasn't my deal, you know. And I want to trust God to give me the things that I'm supposed to have, and then when I'm in line to have success with them, I want to do my best when I'm up to bat. And so celebrate others' success. It shows a really strong mindset, and being able to compliment them on their success instead of being threatened by it also shows a very strong mindset. So I'm going to stop a minute here and just open this up. I'm going to, Tom Henderson, I see a lot of these qualities in you. And I am really impressed by who you are. And I like people more and more to get to know you. And so tell me what you think about developing a strong mindset and some of these things I've said.
Oh, like Tom Chelsea said, you know, this could be a 3-hour seminar on this here alone. Mindset is everything. There's a thing called RAS, reticular activating system. It's a little part of your brain that filters everything out. I did a big talk on this 2 months ago at a group thing that we were doing. What you put in is what comes out. You know, basically, what you listen to, the books you read. My wife and I haven't watched the news for over 10 years. I just, you know, there's nothing I can do about it but get upset when I hear all this stuff and crap out there. So, whoops, my camera just went upside down. But why do I want to get upset about stuff that I can't do anything about? So you feed yourself the positive stuff. Coming on here, sharing here. When I was in Hawaii last week at 6 a.m. on your talk, I mentioned the Art Williams thing. I don't know if anybody went on there and watched that or not.
Yes.
I just put the link on here on our chat line. But this was 1987. And if you listen to Art Williams talk in 1987 about just do it, that's 35 years ago. And his talk is just as irrelevant, if not more so today than it was 35 years ago. But what we tell ourselves is more important than what people say about us. You know, if we tell ourselves we can't do it, we tell ourselves we're not worthy of it, self-talk is very destructive, or it can be very positive. But that's all about the input that you put in. And the years that I've known you and spent with you has been monumental in my life. And just the good things, and you can't dwell on the bad, like you say. Move on, embrace change, be happy. I wear a shirt around every once in a while that says that attitude is a choice. I have a choice of gratitude. You know, we have a choice every step of the way. So I'm gonna turn it back. I could talk for hours on this subject myself. Back to you, Joe.
Thank you, Tom. That's awesome. I'm going to go up to Shane Forbes. Shane, hello. How are you today?
Hi, I'm great, and all the better for being here for sure.
Oh, great. Well, I'm sure proud of you, and I appreciate you and all the things that I've seen you do here in this brief time we've known each other. What do you think about some of the things that we're talking about a strong mindset? Does anything hit you with some of these things?
Yeah, 2 of them come out really strong for me, and they're number 4 and 5. Oh, wait, 4 and 6. Be kind and celebrate other people's success, because I find that that is just the road to inner peace, happiness. It's just the road to success. I think to step onto it. If you're wondering how to get like the fast track, that's it. I've found for many years that it's such a wonderful experience when you are truly happy for someone else's success and you tell them and you encourage them. And I mean, it just raises the frequency and the vibration, not only for them, but for the exchange between you and that person. And you walk away feeling really great too. I've noticed that. So that's mainly what I wanted to say. And it really helps to that way to remain happy. You know, I think kindness is essential for happiness.
Yes, it's so true. It is so true. Well, thank you for that input. You know, I'm going to give you 2 more words that will absolutely eat you up if you allow them into yourself, into your being. One is unforgiveness, and one is jealousy.
Mhm.
You know, when you're jealous of someone, you can't be happy for them.
Right.
When you're unforgiving towards someone, you can't be happy for them. And I'm going to tell you, I want you to write this down. Unforgiveness does more harm to the vessel in which it's stored than the object on which it's poured. Unforgiveness does more harm to the vessel in which it's stored than the object on which it's poured. In other words, if you have unforgiveness towards someone, you need to let it go, because it's doing more harm to you physically than it is to the person you feel hard toward, and they don't even know you feel that way most of the time, right? And so I have a feeling, let the pigeons go. Have you ever seen the carrier pigeons turned out of the crates and they just they're gone? Let the pigeons go, let it go, because it is eating. If you have unforgiveness towards someone, it's eating you up, and they have no idea you feel that way. It's not bothering them at all.
Mhm.
And I had somebody, I probably shouldn't say this, but I'm going to say this anyway. I had somebody say, well, you and your wife look like you're a perfect couple and you look like you're happy all the time. And I just burst out laughing, and I said, are you kidding me? We have 8 children and 5 grandchildren. It's like a zoo sometimes, but we just choose to be happy, and we just choose to love each other. And we choose to look at each other every day and tell each other we love each other. This morning, I was up early and gone. And my wife knew that I was going to be coming back home because we have a house full of company. But I had commitments. And so in the middle of my second commitment, when I got a break, I sent her a text. And it says, I love you today more than yesterday. And I will see you in a little while. And she texted me back and said, you just made my day. And so I'm not telling you that to edify myself or pat myself on the back. I'm just saying I choose to be kind to her. I choose to be happy with her, and I choose to lift her up, because together we could be a team, a force. You see what I'm saying? And so she's constantly doing me that way. And so if you're in my circle of influence, I'm going to be constantly encouraging you and telling you I care for you, because I let you in my circle, and I do. And if you come into my circle with the venom of a rattlesnake or a viper, you're not going to be in my circle long, because life is too short. And nobody wants to get stung by that kind of venom. You understand? And so kindness, edification, all of those things are things that make the engine work a whole lot smoother in life. I'll give you an example. In high school, this goes way back. In high school, I was a high school quarterback, and we were playing for the state championship one year, and we had this all-American running back too. And he was just very jealous. If he didn't get the ball enough times, he didn't like it. And so we were playing a really tough team in this kind of state semifinals, and they were beating us 7-6. 7-6. It was a really close game. And I told him, I said, Jerry, block the linebacker, and I can complete this pass, and we can win this game. We can drive this ball down the court. You got to block that linebacker, because he's on me every time before I can get set up. I'm having to run for my life. If you can just block him, we can beat this team. He said, you mean not going to give me the ball? And I called timeout, and I went over to the sideline, and I looked at the coach, and I said, look, we can't win with our All-American running back in this game. I said, you either need to give him the ball and let him run, or you need to take him out of the game and give me somebody that can block, and we can win. That was how confident I was. So the coach listened to me. He took the All-American out of the game, put in like a third string guy who was a very big physical guy. And I said, the only thing you got to do is block number 53. That's the only thing you got to do. I don't care how you do it, you block it. When he comes between, the guard in the center or the guard in the tackle, you make sure you got a helmet on him and we'll win. And so what did we start doing? We started moving the ball right down the field with down and out passes, hook passes over the middle. We moved the ball right down the field and scored, and we won 13-7 because we won as a team and not being jealous of each other or all of that, but we won as a team because everybody was doing their job. And see, so many times in life, you see people get defeated because of jealousy or self-centeredness or all these things that will stop you from being all you can be. And it wasn't about me. It was about winning. It was about the team winning. And see, that's kind of been my mindset. And when I read this book of The Way of the Seal by Mark Divine, there's so many nuggets in that book that will help you be all you can be, no matter where you are in your life. I'm never going to be a Navy SEAL. You're not going to be a Navy SEAL, but you can have the same traits and qualities that they develop that causes them to win at all costs. Man, when they go in to do a mission, they rehearse it hundreds of times before they get on the plane going to wherever that mission is going to be carried out. They know it they can see it before it happens. And so that's the kind of preparation, that's the kind of surety and all of that we need in our lives. And all of these other things that we're talking about, not celebrating somebody's success, being jealous, unforgiveness, all these things, man, that will keep you from having success in a mission in your life. It will definitely do it. So I wanted to share that with y'all today. Does anybody have any comments? Let me know so I can unmute you. Tom Chesser, how about you?
Absolutely what you're talking about. You got to think to win. You got to plan to win. Every day when you step up, you wake up in the morning, you think of how you're going to win that day. You think about not what can stand in your way, what is out of your way so you can move forward. I'll never forget when I worked for Southwestern Bell Yellow Pages and I had an account that was canceling all their advertising, set up the appointment. My supervisor, she wanted to ride with me. She wanted to go on the call. And she was drilling me all the way to the place as we're driving there. Did you do this? Did you do that? If this happens, what? And then she's talking about the probability of him canceling his advertising. And this was a game changer in closing the book and bringing in the numbers. And I'm sitting there listening to her just mouth off of what I can't do, and what happens if I don't do this. The threats and intimidation and all that, kind of came out. And I pulled over to the side of the road. And I told the young lady, she's my supervisor. I said, if you don't have something good to say in this meeting today, I want you out of my car. I want you out of my car because you're not planning on me winning. You're planning on me losing. You're planning on me losing this account. But if you got something good to say and you can add to win this thing and turn this thing around so we can do it, because I prepared myself the night before, the day of every objection that he could possibly throw at me. I came up with solution after solution, played it all in my mind to win and to make that account happen. And so she shut up because I was serious. I looked at she's my supervisor. And I said, get out of my car. And she got to the deal. She shut up. She listened to the presentation. The guy ended up not canceling, but ended up increasing the account, closed it in the positive in a huge fashion. And when she got back in the car, then she was beaming. Wow, man, that's fantastic. I knew that. I'm like, wait a minute. She inerrantly told my supervisor, the division manager, that I had threatened to take her out of my car. I don't know if she was wanting him to agree and say and reprimand me, but I'll never forget what Kirby Hurley said to her. He said to her, I would have thrown you out of my car too if you kept it up. He said, Tom had every right to take you out of the game when you needed to be out of the game. I'm telling you that only to tell you this. Think of the possibilities. Don't think of what you're facing in a negative way, but think of what the win's going to be. I coach competitive soccer. I took teams to the playoffs, international playoffs. And at the celebration, at the reward celebration, and at the end of the deal, they asked me, Tom, why do you win so much? And you know what my response was? Because I don't think about losing. I didn't plan to lose when I stepped on that field to coach that game. I didn't step on that field to think that I would even tie. I was going to win that game. I had one young lady on that soccer team that I can't score a goal. I can't score a goal. I can't score a goal. I said, Jackie, come on, girl. And this was a girls' team, second-rate team, according to the club. I took it and took them above to nationals. But the situation was, I said, Jackie, you can. I want you to envision this. I want you to see this. I want you to go for it. Do you see the goal? Do you see the ball? Do you see making that shot to score the winning goal of the game? She said, Coach, I can't see it. I said, see it. It was so funny. In that game, she went out there and she scored the winning goal. But when she scored the winning goal, she hit the goalpost. She chipped her tooth in half. She had a busted tooth. And her parents went, oh, my daughter, my beautiful daughter. Jackie came off that field gleaming and glowing with that mouth wide open and blood pouring out of her mouth. She says, Tom, I did it. Coach Tom, I did it. Coach Tom, I did it. I said, of course you did. She said, no, I did it. You told me I could do it. I could do it. Believe in yourself. And then if somebody else don't believe in you, pick somebody else to believe in you.
Amen.
Because you are a winner. You are a winner. You're not a loser. You're more than a conqueror. You're more than a champion. You are everything that you think you are because God taught you to think who you are. You're greater than people. So don't think it. Don't plan to think it. Don't put it in there. And if something's standing in your way, write it down that's standing in your way. And if you really think it's legit, figure a way to get around it.
Yeah.
Because what you keep thinking about is what you're going to happen. How many times are you driving down the road and you see a pothole and you think, oh man, I got to miss that pothole. Oh, I got to look there, another pothole. And then automatically you hit the pothole. Because you kept thinking, there's a pothole. There's a pothole. There's a pothole. Well, the more you thought about the pothole, the more you were directed to what? The pothole. So get yourself out of the pothole. Get yourself out of the mindset that what you think is impossible is possible. And all things are possible, people, if you put your mind to it. There's not anything you can't accomplish, anything you can't do if you put your mind to it. Each and every one of you, Tom Henderson, Tom Armour, all you people in this room right here, Dave, I mean, all you people in this room have faced the impossible and the probable and came up what was possible.
Yes.
And you grew those businesses to be multi-million-dollar businesses because you did not choose to win and you would not think about losing.
Yes.
So you don't have to think the negative. You have to have the mindset of the positive. You got to have the mindset of a Navy SEAL. Those boys were taught when they went through part of their process, they went through the most critical times of their life just one day, Hell Week. Wasn't it called Hell Week that they went through? And everything that could be thrown at them was thrown at them, but they weren't taught to lose. They were taught to win. So I want to tell you, you are more than and you're greater than anything you could ever imagine. Yeah. And your life will be according to what you think and what you say. You've heard of people say, give me a penny for your thoughts, right? Sometimes I want to give them 2 cents to just keep their thoughts to themselves because they're going to try to talk me out of it. And then they say,
that's good.
Give me a piece of your mind. Okay, well, sometimes that was the only piece of mind you had. So don't give me that one. I'm just telling you right now, pick out the negative and isolate yourself from there's negative out there. And I'm not going to say that some of this is not happening. So I don't care what's happening. I can care less what's happening because it doesn't have to happen to me.
Amen.
I don't have to think these into existence. Because as a man thinketh he is, so is he. Out of the abundance of the mouth, what happens? The heart speaketh. Because you're in your mind, in your heart, in your soul, you've been given that innate ability to win. You weren't set up to fail. God didn't create you. He created a masterpiece. That's my story. You know, as a
Thank-
youth pastor for so many years and a minister and a counselor for the Department of Rehabilitation and graduate, you know, seminary degree with the, you know, all that, you know, teaching people how to overcome is overcoming it yourself.
Yes.
Sometimes we have to overcome ourselves in order to train somebody else how to overcome. But you don't have to look at the bad as the bad. You can look at the bad as what the good's going to be. Ain't that right, Joseph Lane? You
Yes.
taught me that one.
Yes. Thank you,
You don't
Tom.
have to look at this thing that bad, Tom, because I believe in you. And I believe this year you're going to receive 10 times full what you lost. And immediately it snapped me out of that direction and turned me around because it opened up the possibilities and not the impossibilities or even the probability of something going wrong. So you as an individual, we as people, right, have to think on these things.
Yes.
Think of things that are of a good report, of a sound mind, that are lovely, beautiful. Think about the things that are good in your life. Think about the things that can be good in your life. Think about what can be next or the impossibility that you can overcome. Joseph, you didn't divine these companies to fail. You never failed. When you saw a problem, you solved the problem. When you came up with a solution, you found the solution. Even in your refrigeration company, I heard about one of the stories where you had an obstacle that got in your way and you got a way around it. So I'm encouraging in each and every one of you on this call today that mind that you have, this thing right between here and here, is the thing that can make you or destroy your life. It can either push you forward or it can hold you back. It can move you in the direction you want to go, or it can move you totally turn around to be defeated. Your mind can make you what you want it to be if you have the right what? Mindset. And the 6 things that Joseph gave you are so true in remaining happy. Because if you have the bad mindset, you're not going to be happy. If you don't look at the selves and look at the possibilities and let things go and just move on, you're not going to develop the mindset that you can do it. So it really is. And Tom Henderson, you're right, buddy. I mean, I'd like to have you also. I'd like to do, whatever you were saying. I'm like, well, I got to have this, man. I got to have this. We got to do this conversation. We got to interview this guy. So thank you very much. Go ahead.
Let me go up to Terry. Terry, you're raising your hand. Terry, up in Canada.
Yes. Well, there's been, for the last couple of years, there's been so many people being afraid, right? And you come to them and you say hi, and the look in their eyes, because you can't see their face, is just total fear. Now that the masks are off, I come to people and I say hi, and their face lights up. And especially with the elderly people, you know, just smiling at them, you can see their face just light up, and it's just so amazing. And the word kindness really stuck out to me. And by just saying hi, just like Joseph did when his focus was on his little dog, and just to see the people just brighten up their face, and, you know, not to be afraid to say hi anymore. It's so cool. And kindness is the antidote for life.
Amen. Thank you so much. Anybody else have anything they want to add to today's call? If you do, raise your hand. Tom Armour. Tom?
Hey, Joe. Yeah, like you've taught me, we need to think about where we're going. And we've talked about backstage a couple of times that I was going to write a book about some of the things that I was going through, and I've just never taken the time to do that. But I came up with a title, which is The Only Way Out Is Through.
Yes.
You know, don't stop where you are now and feel sorry for yourself. It's okay if you feel sorry for yourself. Give it 5 minutes and now move on. So the question is, where do I go from here? It's like, if you know where you're going and why you want to be there and what it's all about, then now something happened. It's like, okay, let's reapprise. Here I am. Where do I go from here? I remember I bid the Swan and Dolphin Hotel. I spent thousands and thousands, actually over $10,000 building mock-ups, meeting with Michael Eisner, meeting with Frank Wells from Disney about the Swan and Dolphin Hotel. And then the company that was doing the construction said, well, you're too small of a company to handle the job, so we're going to give it to another company out in California. And I recognized the company in California was not a manufacturer, they were a distributor. So when I lost the job, I called them up and flew out to California and built the job for them. So
Yeah.
It wasn't a question of whether or not, I was going to get the job. It was like, who was going to pay me? That's all I needed to figure out.
That's right. That's
So-
right. That's beautiful. That's right. Give me the title of the book again. I love that. Y'all write
the
that
only
down.
the only way out is through. Yeah.
The only way out is through. I love it.
Yeah.
That's a strong mindset right there.
Yep.
All right. Anybody else have anything you want to add today before we conclude our call? If you do, raise your hand. All right. Well, good. Well, thank you for joining me on this Memorial Day 2022. And thank you for, again, we'll be back here next Monday at noontime, Ask Joseph Land Show. And feel free to invite anybody you want to come on this show. It's free. Send out an email. When you get your link, send out an email to everybody and invite them on here. Let's pack this thing out. But I'm going to conclude this right now, but I want you to stay on here for just a second so we can close this out. So thanks for joining me today. God bless you guys. Have a great week.